Good evening, you're watching NewsVision. I'm Chantel Batista.
And I'm Robin Shapiro. Thank you for joining us. A bridge that was intended to keep pedestrians safe while crossing a busy Miami street instead led to the sudden deaths of 6 Miami residents.
It was last Thursday when the newly installed pedestrian bridge near the campus of Florida International University collapsed on top of passing cars and pedestrians.
Our reporter Tommy Fletcher is live from the scene of the collapse. Tommy, what is going on there a week after the disaster?
Well, yesterday, members of the FIU community gathered to remember the lives lost in the bridge collapse 1 week ago. But today, though, as you can see behind me, this stretch of Tamiami Trail and Southwest 8th Street where the bridge collapsed is still closed. And while some people here at FIU are dealing with headaches because of traffic delays and road closures, many others are dealing with heartache after they lost friends or family in the collapse. This is the collapse that killed 6 people, including 1 FIU student. While school was on spring break, a massive rescue effort.
We had a little over 100 rescuers here at the onset.
But before the crash, a warning about cracking in the bridge's concrete, which came too late.
I was calling to share with you some information about the FIU pedestrian bridge and some cracking that's been observed on the north end of the span.
The $14.6 million project was meant to make getting to school safer for students, but instead cost lives. And FIU's president says the university is working to figure out why.
Because we got to get to the bottom of this. That's the most important thing.
And so far, 2 lawsuits have been filed by people who were either injured or on behalf of those who were killed in the crash. Both lawsuits note that this road here behind me was not closed while officials performed stress tests on the bridge. Back on the campus, many minds are thinking of our own pedestrian bridge that crosses US 1 near campus. We asked students whether or not they feel safe crossing that bridge.
Honestly, I'm not that worried in terms of already standing bridges, because the FIU collapse was a bridge that was being built.
As a person, I usually feel comfortable crossing bridges and going around places, but I feel like everywhere needs to be checked and made sure everything's up to code and all of our students are safe wherever we go.
I've never been on those bridges before, but I mean, it kind of makes you think about it. But for myself, I do feel safe on Miami's campus.
Well, construction on UM's bridge was finished last May after years of delays because of land and funding issues. The bridge was dedicated last semester and the project ended up costing $6 million. Students had been rallying for the bridge since 2006 after a UM student was killed while crossing US 1. Miami-Dade Transit, who was responsible for the project that ended up building the bridge, estimates that 1,300 people cross US 1 each day at that spot. Back out here live, we reached out to Miami-Dade Transit to ask about any similarities between the pedestrian bridge at UM and the one here at FIU. We also asked them about any measures that they're taking to preserve the integrity of the bridge to prevent any issues in the future or any collapses in the future. However, we have not yet heard back from them. Reporting live on the FIU campus in Sweetwater tonight for UMTV, I'm Tommy Fletcher.
Thank you, Tommy. Really just a tough past month in Florida here, Robin.
Absolutely. From the Parkland shooting last month to this, it's really tested the resilience of the South Florida community. The bridge collapse happened in the middle of spring break last week, but President Julio Frank was quick to tweet out his support for the FIU community. Frank wrote, "Our thoughts are with the victims of this tragic incident at FIU and the first responders on the scene. The University of Miami stands ready to help in any way we can."
In previous years, spring break in Miami has been known as a time where there's been multiple arrests and even one murder just last year. But this year, Miami Beach police are enforcing stricter regulation. I went to Miami Beach to see what those changes are.
Miami is known for its good weather, beautiful beaches, and notorious nightlife. Miami Beach has been consistently ranked amongst the best spring break destinations in the world. According to Local 10 News, last year authorities expected around 135,000 tourists in the city of Miami during the spring break period, from roughly March 3rd to April 16th. The majority of the expected visitors are millennials. But besides all the tourists in the streets of Miami during spring break, there are also more police officers than usual.
But it's a lot of police down here by the spring breakers. I don't know why. I guess they think we're bad people or something.
You know, a lot of cops are posted up at each point because they don't want people, you know, bringing alcohol on the beach. They checked all of our bags each time we did go on the beach.
With thousands of spring breakers coming from across the country, the City of Miami Beach Police Department has new protocol in place for the month of March.
So we don't allow things like coolers, things like tents, tables, big items like that. We don't allow them onto the beach, certainly not alcohol. We have a team of Goodwill ambassadors. Those are volunteers from the city who actually are there reminding people of the do's and don'ts on Miami Beach.
Some residents are happy about the strict rules officers are enforcing.
So I've lived in Miami for 4 years now, and this was my third time spending spring break here. And it was a lot calmer because there was more of a police presence in the area.
According to the Miami New Times, by the second week of the spring break period, the city had 20 arrests. This is seen as a drastic improvement compared to last year's 35 arrests alone during the first week.
Officers say that while the number of total arrests have decreased, it's still a long way to go before the police officers put a stop to all inappropriate activity.
The University of Miami has welcomed former Vice President Joe Biden and his It's On Us campaign to the Watsco Center this past Tuesday. The initiative began as a way to raise awareness about sexual assault. The former vice president advocates for a zero-tolerance policy and the hope to reform standards of consensual sex.
Any man on campus who sees a fraternity brother taking a drunken co-ed up the stairs doesn't walk up and say, "Not in my house," is a damn coward.
Biden recognized the University of Miami as one of only 6 schools in the nation that have made a campus-wide sexual assault survey. The survey evaluates sexual assault awareness and prevention resources at UM. During the event, some people shared their personal experience with sexual assault.
After about a year, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. I suffered with nightmares and flashbacks and had many sleepless nights. My appetite was unpredictable, and I'd go days without eating, or I found myself binging late at night. Sometimes I find myself in large crowds, hyperventilating from panic attacks that began after that night. It's been difficult for me to let people in, but I've not been defined by these setbacks.
After the rally, students had the opportunity to meet the former vice president. University of Miami students are encouraged to take the campus climate survey at miami.edu/itsonus/survey. It was pretty cool seeing the former vice president come to campus and talk about such a hot topic.
Yes, it was, Robin. And hearing some of those testimonials from students was very powerful. But today it was a pretty cool day here in South Florida. Now Dave Downey has a quick look at the weather and current weather conditions. Dave?
Thank you. As we look at the dash radar right now, pretty quiet across the majority of the country. The northeast New England area is still working its way out of the 4th nor'easter this month for that area of the country. So they're still digging out. Over here in the west coast, still some light showers working their way across the Pacific waters into the California area. But here, down here in Miami, nothing to worry about. A couple light showers, nothing reaching the ground. I think that's all up in the clouds that the radar is detecting at the moment. So nothing to worry about here. As we take a look at the current conditions, 70 degrees, relative humidity comfortably at 25%, making the dew point a very comfortable 32 degrees. Winds out of the north between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Pressure is at a very high 30.2 inches per mercury, so that is keeping us in very good weather conditions. Coming up in your full forecast, talk about ultra, how you will have a very chilly night ahead, and when will we return to the 80s? Guys?
Thankfully, we'll have more nice weather this weekend.
The cool weather came in just in time for the Iron Arrow tappings just this morning.
And speaking of Iron Arrow,
the 5 criteria, and those consist of the love of alma mater, humility, character, leadership, and scholarship.
Only the best of the best are tapped. Students and staff received one of the highest honors at the University of Miami today. We'll introduce you to one high-spirited member who goes above and beyond to achieve his dreams.
cleared for takeoff.
If you were on campus this week, you might have heard the beat of a drum echoing. It's the biannual sound of UM's Iron Arrow Honor Society tapping its newest members. Iron Arrow is the university's most prestigious honor society. Tapping ceremonies happen each semester. The society uses Seminole Indian traditions to tap new members, such as drums, paint, and authentic hard-made Seminole jackets. These traditions emulate a coming of age in the Seminole tribe. But before officially being chosen, the new members are held to a high standard during the selection process, which takes into consideration much more than academics.
What we look for when we're looking to select people into Iron Arrow is if they meet the 5 criteria, and those consist of the love of alma mater, humility, character, leadership, and scholarship. It's not just one category. You kind of have to have a little bit of everything. So are you passionate about the school? Do you love the University of Miami? Do you have good character?
Here at NewsVision, our very own sports reporter Luis Gonzalez was tapped into Iron Arrow. Apart from giving us the lowdown in sports here in NewsVision, Luis is also a resident assistant on campus and has just about the most school spirit you'll find at UM. Congratulations, Luis. We are very proud of you.
And from one Iron Arrow honoree to another, one of the newest faculty members at the School of Communication, UM lecturer Winston Warrior, has been bringing swag to the classroom since he began teaching here in the fall. But as our reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez tells us, that's not the only thing that sets this talented lecturer apart.
Just like you don't you just casually have a McFlurry.
But it's interesting, right? So there have been...
He just exudes swagger and confidence and just like this aura of knowing what's going on and just like being the boss.
They call him the dope professor.
You can talk to him about like really whatever you want to talk about, whether that's like spring break or whether that's an assignment.
I'm still trying to get tickets.
He's in his second semester teaching media management at the University of Miami.
You can say confidently, we might be able to work with you.
The intrinsic reward you get from seeing young people kind of get it. And so that's been really special.
But Warrior is more than just your everyday college professor. He is an R&B singer.
So I heard you had a boyfriend, and I heard he treats you right.
I actually enjoy his music very much, surprisingly, because usually I just listen to classical music, jazz.
Every time I listen to it, and I've listened to it probably about 1 trillion times, I'm still like, ooh, I like it.
Baby, tell
You're painting a picture for someone else to kind of live your experience.
Warrior's music career took off at UM when he was a student. He joined forces with 2 other guys to form the group Low Profile. Sony Music was ready to sign them, but the group's managers got in the way.
We got screwed over, we didn't get the contracts, and so it was kind of a dream deferred. Put it to the side.
He was turned off from the industry for years, hesitant to pick up the microphone. Instead, he chose to pursue marketing.
And I was afraid. You know, I was risk averse.
But eventually, Warrior realized how unfulfilling it can be to settle in life. He felt an undying urge to follow his dream once again.
Finally, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be that guy at the bar that's kind of a little tipsy and telling everybody how he wished he could have and I should have and I was big back. I didn't want to be that guy, so I just went for it.
Warrior returned to the stage with an even stronger passion for music and an altered sense of purpose, to tell stories that mean something.
Because I didn't know when life hits you low.
There's something more than just talking about popping bottles and flossing and whatever. I mean, I'm talking about some inspirational things, some real life things.
And now back in Miami, he emphasizes this very concept to each and every one of his students.
That personality really blossoms in front of students because he cares so much about his students.
I'm living my best life. I feel like I'm breathing. I have the best of all worlds now.
Reporting in Coral Gables, I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez, UMTV.
Wow, that was actually actually really cool. He definitely embodies the characteristic of his name, a warrior.
I totally agree. We would like to congratulate all of the new members of Iron Arrow that continue to share their positivity with others. We'll be right back with sports and weather after the break. Don't go away.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling. Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Meteorologist Dave Downey. I really want to take a look at these national temperatures right now. 70 is being reported down here in Miami. But look at this, 73 in Wichita, 70 in the Mile High City. That's way above their average this time of year, even 80 in Dallas. So I'm a little jealous right now of the temperatures that they're experiencing in the middle section of the country. Current winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour being reported across the entirety of South Florida, which is contributing to these lower than average current local temperatures, bringing in that cooler northerly breeze. 66 is Fort Myers, 65 here in Naples. And the only spot reporting 70 degrees is over here in Miami. The Marathon Station appears having some technical difficulties reaching back to us at this time, unfortunately. Looking at the Daily Almanac, though, only hit 72 for the high. That's 9 degrees lower than the normal of 81 for this time of year. Nothing close to the record of 93 set back in 2003. I don't think we want any of that this time of year either, although 62 at 10 for tonight for your growth forecast, 58 at 1. So if you do choose to go out, bring a jacket, something to keep you warm. Breezy conditions make that feel a lot cooler, upper 40s, maybe lower 50s even, if you do choose to go out tonight. For tomorrow's forecast, we'll call it 76 for your high, still cooler for March. Sunny skies, though, winds out of the north between 10 and 15 miles per hour. As we look at the futurecast, we'll stop here tomorrow morning. Sunny skies still prevailing, and that will continue throughout the entirety of the weekend. As we take a look here in the northern Ohio Valley, a low pressure system bringing in a stationary front. It's going to drop some significant precipitation across the upper Ohio Valley down to Kentucky and Tennessee as well. As we turn it forward, that will also impact our area, mainly across the eastern coast on Monday. And in the 7-day, I'll talk about how that could affect us down here in Miami. Looking at your Ultra Music Festival forecast, 71 for Friday evening, a beautiful start, 75 on Saturday evening, nothing but sun still, and then 80 Sunday afternoon as we still are under humid conditions for this time of year at that point. Don't drive on, if you're going to Ultra, don't drive. That Uber or Metro Rail will be the better option for you. Of course, that's what those services are there for. Take some sunscreen, listen to the officials, locate a medical tent. If you do not stay hydrated, there will be plenty of water stations across the year to keep you full of that H2O. And above all, be smart and be safe. Take a look at your 7-day forecast. A roller coaster of temperatures will prevail. 76 tomorrow, 77 on Saturday, up to 83 on Monday. But that's where that cold front hits. 76 will drop down to Tuesday. But guys, no precipitation at all the next 7 days. It'll be beautiful next week. Are you guys going to Ultra?
Unfortunately, I've been every year, but I can't go this year, and I'm super bummed about it because that weather looks awesome.
It's going to be great weather for Ultra, but also even better weather for sports, right, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely, Chantel. Great weather for sports. Starting with baseball, we're going to start off on the hardwood with the Miami Hurricanes basketball team. Miami guard Bruce Brown Jr. announced today that he has declared for the NBA draft. The sophomore decided not to hire an agent to keep his college eligibility. Brown missed the final 12 games of the season recovering from surgery on his left foot. The Boston, Massachusetts native averaged 11.7 points and 6.2 rebounds in his first 2 years. Brown is projected to be a late first-round pick
in the NBA draft. He has until June 11th to withdraw his name from draft consideration or return for his junior season. But Bruce Brown made the trip to Dallas for the NCAA tournament. He dressed but did not play. Even without Brown, the Canes managed a 6 seed in the big dance, but they would have their hands full with 11 seed Loyola Chicago looking to be Cinderella. We pick it up. Closing minutes of the ballgame, Miami up by 3, but Loyola wouldn't go away. Custer, corner pocket, captains it. We're all knotted up at 60. Then Jaquan Newton, the senior from Philadelphia, on the other end. Fadeaway jumper gets it to go. Miami up by 2. Closing seconds, Lonnie Walker trying to put the game away, but misses the front end of the 1-and-1. And the rest is history. Ramblers not using their final timeout. And Dante Ingram from the logo. He's going to fire it up. Madness ensues. Ramblers knock off Miami in the first round. Looks like the slipper fits for Loyola Chicago. They would advance to the Sweet 16. Now for some Canes baseball on the diamond. Miami took on in-state foe Florida Atlantic University last night at Mark Life Field. The Hurricanes led by as many as 7 runs. The Owls mounted a late game comeback to win 11-9. Freshman Daniel Fetterman gave up 2 earned runs in a career-high 6 innings and struck out 5. Miami's offense came to life and put up 9 runs on the board, but FAU strung together a late rally in the final inning, scoring 6 runs, including a grand slam to take the ballgame. From the light to the green tree practice field, the Canes had a bitter end to the last season when they lost their final 3 games, including the ACC Championship and Orange Bowl. Now, the Canes are looking forward to the 2018 season and begins with the first spring practice of the year. Reporter Jihad Chatara has more.
It is officially the off-season for Canes football, but the spring is where champions are built. Head coach Mark Richt was happy with the effort at the first practice of 2018.
Good thing they've been here for, what, a month and a half, 2 months, to give themselves a chance. So I was pleased with the day one for sure.
Last season was the best season in recent memory for the Canes, but it was a finish to forget.
Well, basically, we want to. When we come out here with the mindset of we want to erase last year. We're not even thinking about last year for the most part.
But as the players from last year try to forget a 3-game losing streak to end the year, they will have to replace the production of departing seniors like Braxton Berrios.
We recruited well. We have a lot of guys. And, you know, that's something I've always said. Football's a game of opportunities. You know, if those balls didn't get thrown to me, they get thrown somewhere else. So, you know, a lot of younger guys and other guys are going to get more and more opportunities. And so, you know, they just have to make them count.
All the talk is quarterbacks here on the first day of spring practice. And Malik Rozier said he's determined to get a win the next time the Canes make an ACC championship.
Kind of pisses me off the fact that we ended the last 3 games with losses, and that's not how you win in any season. So it's I kind of got a chip on my shoulder about that. I'm not like humbled by it. I'm more pissed off, and we got a point to prove now. I mean, we got a lot of guys back, so if we don't come in and dominate the ACC, something's wrong.
The coaches are right back where they were a year ago with a huge decision to make at quarterback. The incumbent Rozier seems the likely favorite to win the job, with redshirt freshman Nkosi Perry looking to steal it away.
He's been a year in the system. Obviously, when he came in as a freshman, there were high expectations for him, like as there should be, and just kind of being able to learn the system, because obviously playing quarterback is different.
But spring practice means that it is time for Canes to try and improve upon from last season, and for new players to make an impact.
The young guys got to step up, obviously, and fill those voids, and the older guys just have to step up that much more. And you know, we need leaders on the team, but you know, they have all the right pieces, and they're going to be better than last year.
Reporting in Coral Gables, I'm Jihad Chatara.
That's all I have for sports this week. I'm Josh White. Guys?
Unbelievable that they let up that many runs last night, but I think I'll still go to a baseball game this weekend.
Me too. I mean, it's bark in the park, so I can bring my dog.
Amazing. But right after the break, we'll tell you how one police officer is making sure another animal is also being kept safe. We'll be right back. Who's?
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Some estimates say that there are hundreds of thousands of stray cats living in the streets all over Miami. Our reporter Cindy Arbodella met with one woman who said she is doing her best to give a home to some of the homeless cats in Miami Beach.
Meet Coco, Felix, and Barbara. They might seem like normal cats, but two of them are terminally ill. Felix is a kidney failure who suffers from narrowing of nasal passage. However, thanks to the love and support of one Miami woman, these kitties have gotten a second chance at life, and it comes with a 3-story cat mansion. Mary Garcia is the founder of Miami Beach Animal Advocates, a nonprofit dedicated to the well-being of stray and abandoned cats.
I've been rescuing them ever since I was a little girl. If you look back in my photo albums throughout the years, I've always got something, but it was a little kitten with me everywhere I went.
Her organization started as a Facebook page in 2015, aimed to connect people from the community who wanted to help animals in need.
I'm glad to see those cats. We'll have a
It
good
now
time.
has over 2,200 members supported by donations. One of the organization's main goals is to serve as watchdogs over the several cat colonies in Miami Beach.
This is one of the cat colonies Miami Beach Animal Advocates take care of. Tourists and locals alike sometimes run into volunteers carrying big bags of food like this one, looking for kitties to feed.
At exactly 5 p.m., volunteer Simone Anderson pulls up to pay her daily visit to the feline communities. Her furry friends happily sprint to welcome their caretaker with love.
I know I'm important to them. To me, it's compassion, it's animal love. That's why I feed them, and I do it every day.
Miami Beach Animal Advocates currently has 12 volunteers who trap cats, neuter, spray them, and release them back into the colony.
There's 2 more next door. Mommy, come.
Volunteers also check on the cat's health and provide medical services such as vaccination and deworming when needed. They even help the kitties find forever homes.
Everybody can do something, a transport, fostering, coming to an event, putting $1 in, or asking for donations.
With over 150 cats helped so far, Mary plans to continue expanding her mission, not only serving Miami Beach, but all of South Florida. And cats like Coco, Felix, and Barbara are surely grateful for her passion.
Life is good, huh?
For UMTV, I'm Cindy Arboleda.
That's all the time that we have this week. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UMTV NewsVision.
Thank you and have a good night.